everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks, where perfection is a work in progress. I'm your host, Sam. A Merry Festivus to the rest of us. And then, of course, with the crew, how you guys doing tonight?
I'm good. I realized as I grabbed my prop this week for dancing that a bag full of like little critter gibbets that I had to take from my desk at work made a lot of noise. I moved it around, so I had to mute myself. But it's Thursday. We're getting closer to the end of the season, and I can't wait to get into it this week with you guys.
Gibbets is now my new vocab word, so we're gonna insert that word of the day calendar in here. I'm doing pretty well. Snow's starting to melt, got a little warmer, got my nose a little messed up, so that's fun. But football's going, and it's going for the most part, well, partially the direction I want. Some people are probably, especially in like the Midwest area, are probably really, really mad. But we'll see what happens. How you know, buddy?
You know, I'm doing okay. Rough start to the week, but you know what? We're here. We got football tonight. We got football on Saturday. We got football on Sunday. We got football on Monday. It's going to be a great week. And then, Christmas.
Right.
We'll have to determine when we're doing next week's show, since Wednesday and Thursday are probably out.
Tuesday.
Because Wednesday's Christmas Eve and Thursday is Christmas, so I will not be available.
But Tuesday
should be fine. Christmas Eve, I should be all right.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. Well, we are, of course, brought to you by Aardvark Concepts, Incorporated, more than just a sign shop. Check them out in Westminster for all your sign and decal needs. And into deep of Maryland, they got a show coming up on the 28th. Nope, that was November 28th. They have a New Year's Eve party coming up on December 31st at Twain's Tavern. Took me a minute to actually read because, reasons.
I just find it funny that Brady's doing the same thing I'm doing and trying to put his head in between the ornaments on the overlay.
Yeah.
That's why I moved my camera back.
I noticed as I was sitting like this, the star was like right on my forehead, and I was like, I know Mom's watching, and she's gonna be like, "You set that up, didn't you?"
You're a star.
It's better than with Sam eating the turkey or whatever from last month, where I just had it so his face was just eating.
Yep.
Also, brought to you by One Man's Demon, written by my dad, which is on sale for Christmas for $9.99. Even cheaper if you buy the ebook version. Remember, guys, if we get to 100, we're still at 39, so you guys got to step it up out there. But if we get to 100 by the end of the regular season, I will be shaving my head live on stream. So come on,
not 6, 7,
not 6 now. 100. I want a nice even number, no memes.
Yeah.
So
well, our dozen of fans might be able to help us with that, but
that's being generous.
Yeah. But there is no helping some of these teams in the NFL these days. However, surprisingly, help came from one unexpected place. And that brings us to our breaking news. Phillip Rivers got a start last week after being retired for 5 years, just shy of being able to be in the Hall of Fame and playing in the NFL. The only player to possibly have done that. Now, he did okay. He played against a great defense in the Seattle Seahawks. He didn't light the place on fire, but
he did better than 50% of the young quarterbacks. I just want to point that out. Like, we see people come out and do a lot worse than him, and they're warmed up and they're in their prime. So, give credit where credit's due.
That brings me to a question, though, because he's a bit more old school. He's used to reading. He's used to doing things in a different way. With the way the NFL is right now, is there a quarterback, retired, of course, that you think would thrive in today's game, considering they have different set of skills?
Absolutely. And I'm going to go a little off the reservation with this one because I think we've talked about it briefly, but I've never really got into me thinking that Jalen Hurts is probably one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. So my pick is Donovan McNabb to come back and play for the Eagles because he could put up better numbers than Jalen Hurts right now. Like, he was a pocket passer with an arm who had a. Can you not hear me or?
Well, we can.
Oh. All right. My mic must be going, so I'll hold it. So if you didn't hear any of that, Donovan McNabb, because I think Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback who is surrounded by one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, a top 5 running back, 2 absolute stud wide receivers, a top 10 tight end, and you mean to tell me this guy is throwing, for 200 yards a game? Like, come on. You bring back Donovan McNabb, who was a prolific pocket passer with a rocket for an arm, who had decent mobility for a guy his size, and tell me that with that same offense, even at Donovan McNabb at like 52 years old or whatever he is right now, wouldn't put up the exact same numbers, if not better than Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. I think Donovan McNabb or any other quarterback could go into Philly's system and produce better than Jalen Hurts. But my pick is Donovan McNabb with that absolute cannon of an arm he had.
It's an interesting one, right? So my top one, especially given the situation that I could come up with, especially with my history with NFL teams, is bring back Peyton Manning. Phillip Rivers, as you said, did lukewarm. He did okay. Peyton Manning, on his bad day, did better than some of the better quarterbacks. So, we could really can't really help the Broncos. They're like number 1 in the league. But you can help the Colts potentially. I was trying to think of anybody else. Kyle Bowler wouldn't do anything.
The only thing I ever remember about Kyle Bowler's career is when the Ravens got him, there was like a Baltimore Sun article that said he could throw a football 60 yards from his knees. And like, that doesn't help. Like, if he's on his knees with the ball, he's down.
Yeah.
That's a Jeff George thing, man. Had the talent, but no football IQ.
Right. I can throw the ball to somebody is a different story, but I can throw the ball. But yeah, so that's interesting. So in my head, Peyton Manning would help more than Phillip Rivers did, but
I'm gonna bring it back a little ways, quite a bit of ways before that, early 2000s, like 2000. Dan Marino, that man.
Well, Tua just got benched.
At the end of his career, was still slinging the ball pretty good. And they were allowed to do a lot of defensive things to receivers that they are not allowed to do today. And that man could sling the ball hard, fast.
Slanging the ball.
With accuracy.
I think he was arguably the best quarterback to never win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an argument. I think that's just his fact.
That man could sling it. He was incredible in his time. And nowadays, if you were to have plugged him in, even at the end of his career, I would say that man could read a defense. He could lead a team to the Super Bowl and win it outright right now. Put him on the Dolphins right now. He'd have 2 good receivers who he's never had. A good running back, which he's never had. That man was making magic happen with nobody around him. So I think that's who I would love to see in today's game.
Very good.
Oh, thank you. It's very kind of you. All right.
I'm here for you.
Thank you. Now, let's take a look at how things are going this season. And shocker, we finally have a standings change. I passed Brady.
I looked at Brady's face, and he's like, I don't want to know.
It's been a long December around here, and I can't with these because I'm not even picking like crazy upsets. It's not going my way. and I can't explain it.
You know what's
Go in
crazy?
the same direction as my fantasy team.
What's crazy is Sammy had the best week last week. And his picks weren't all that crazy. But they were just slightly different than ours.
This is such a weird year with upsets.
It is. It
But-
is.
You know what? I'm still hanging around. It's not over yet. We just might have to go back to old football Jesus ways and pick some crazy upsets.
Well,
Well-
like, look at the Ravens game. I did not expect the Ravens to win. And if it did by a marginal amount, shutting out Cincinnati, who beat us with turned over touchdowns 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, I kind of made a bit of a boo-boo picking the Dolphins over Pittsburgh. But, you know, a couple other good picks I had last week.
I was hopeful that would happen. I think I did the same pick. No, I did pick Pittsburgh, but I was willing to take that loss for Pittsburgh to lose to make it easier for the Ravens to make it into the playoffs.
That's
So-
okay. A couple of the ones I did pick, a couple of the off-the-wall ones that I did pick did pan out. Buffalo, of course, and the Chargers. Both worked well for me. But that's okay. I got my sights set on the next person in the standings order.
Yeah, you can stay back there. It's quite a jump to get from Brady to me.
I think it's a dogfight for last place between you and me, Sam. So
It's okay. I'm gonna have a perfect week this week, and I'm gonna catch up a little bit, just a little bit, put a little bit of pressure on him.
all right.
And Tarek's gonna change his picks so he can be like, nope, I'm picking when he does. We can't catch me.
Oh, jeez. Thanks,
And
Carol.
Jessica is still kicking our butts.
We're
I
not
think
even
we've
trying
given
to
up.
get first place. We're just talking about the first place for the boys here.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
we're playing for our own male dominance. We understand she's better than us.
She is the clear queen of the picks, and we are just trying to play jester at this point.
Mm-hmm. Jesster.
Speaking of, let's play a little jokey jester with you and take a look at our pop panel game of the week. We have what could be a very important game for these two. The Jaguars, if they lose and Houston wins, lose the division. Well, division lead tied for the division lead. Denver, if they lose and the Chargers win, will be one game up with 2 to go. This is a big one, boys.
This is an interesting one. Just because, so you got a real big point with that, but the only catch is the Broncos have clinched it. They've clinched it. They're in the playoffs, so they don't have as much. They're just trying to keep it up.
Try and get the number 1 seed in the division.
Right, and that raises another question, because I've said this for years. I've seen multiple teams. The Colts did it under Peyton Manning years in a row, where they would get that bye week and then lose in the divisional round every single year, and then whenever they had to play through, they did really well and made it to the AFC Championship or Super Bowl. So is that something you want? We don't know. I mean, Bo Nix hasn't gotten this far. What's it, second year? Second and a half?
Second.
That's a hard pull there. I'm going with Denver because I think they're just going to try and play it out. I think Bo Nix versus Trevor Lawrence is going to be an interesting. I think it's going to be a slugfest. I think it's going to be very. I mean, Denver's got they lose. They lost somebody big on Sunday, so their defense is going to be down a little bit. But I think it's going to be an offensive slugfest. But I think Denver's got it.
Oh, it's just me. Look at that. So I agree. I do think this is going to be a very high-scoring game, but I don't think it's going to be the offenses that are going to be scoring a lot. I think it's going to be these defenses that are going to be scoring a lot, because we've bemoaned the point of Denver's offense kind of not producing like, we kind of expect them to. But then last week, Jacksonville, kind of put a shellacking to the Jets like we kind of expect. And with them just recently extending their big trade acquisition this year, Jacoby Myers, 3-year, $60 million deal. Let me hold some of that. I do think this is going to be a very high-scoring game because, as Sam alluded to, both of these teams kind of still need this game. I mean, Denver has locked up a playoff position, but they could still potentially lock in home field advantage, which would be huge to have to go through Denver. in the AFC playoffs. But, as I alluded to earlier, Football Jesus has to go back to his old ways and start picking some upsets. So I'm going with Jacksonville in this one, going into Denver to get the win. And I really think it's because Trevor Lawrence is making his money, but Travis Etienne, his college teammate that also plays on Jacksonville, is going into a contract year, and he's been getting featured heavily in this offense. So I expect this offense to run through those two this week. And I expect Denver's defense to bend just enough to keep Jacksonville in this game. And I have Jacksonville winning this by a field goal.
How funny would it be if this takes you even further?
I mean, I'm out of it anyway, so why not? Swing for the fences. I'm going up here like I'm Babe Ruth pointing, calling the shot. And then also behind me, I've got the guy from Signs saying, swing away, football Jesus.
What, Sammy?
I forget the character's name. I forget. Swing away,
Joaquin Phoenix, right?
Merle.
Phoenix.
Either way, I'm swinging for the fences with this one. Let's go, Jacksonville.
Oh, man. So, I got Denver in this game. I think Denver defense is the difference in this. I think Trevor Lawrence, 0 turnovers last week. Been pretty good with the turnovers. This is the week he slips up. It's going to happen. Houston's going to win. They're going to tie the division. Denver's going to get a little bit closer to getting that number 1 seed because I also think New England's going to start slipping up. A couple of hard games coming in for both of these teams.
I saw a meme. Sorry to interrupt you. I saw a meme the other day of the Patriots with like a Thanos head on it. And said, where did it bring you but back to me with the Patriots trying to vie for the playoff in the Super Bowl? I'm like, no, I don't want either one. I don't want the Chiefs or the Patriots.
No, I don't either. But you know what? At least it's a different quarterback, different coach. We don't have to hear the same rhetoric with that. But I do like Denver, and I don't think it's going to be as high a scoring game as you guys think it is. I think it's going to be the low 20s for both. A little surprising as more of a defensive struggle.
All right.
Okay, so that's our pop panel game of the week. Let's get into our pop panel quick pick'ems, and let's take a look. First 4.
Tarek, you have to change the scene.
Oh, are you? Oh, yep. Boom.
Boom! There it is. So, I believe the Seattle Seahawks at home get their revenge without Devontae Adams going against them.
Isn't it?
No, Devontae Adams is out. And that defense is good. They almost had him the last time in Los Angeles. I think they get him this time.
Yeah, to kind of bemoan the point from last week that we went over about the refs, I mean, the refs clearly influenced the game of the Rams last week with that touchdown that was clearly not a touchdown. He was either down by contact or he dropped the ball, not a touchdown. Skipping over that, I do think that this is going to be the most competitive game this week because both of these offenses are playing out of their mind and both of these defenses are very, very good. But I have seen more mistakes out of the Seattle's offense, so I think it's going to be one of those games where it's just, they stall out on one drive, and that just allows the Rams to keep the lead and build on that. But the only other one that I was really flip-flopping on was the Green Bay-Chicago game. I mean, these teams know each other better than any other 2 teams in the league. But with Green Bay losing Micah Parsons for the year with the ACL injury and also their starting safety in the same play, I just think it's going to be one of those games where it's like you're missing that star power on defense for Green Bay, and Caleb Williams is just going to, make a little magic happen.
And poor Michigan.
So many, just season-ending injuries this year. It's just... And there's so many ACLs on Sunday. It seemed like every game I was watching, it's someone else with an ACL tear. And I'm just rubbing my strained Achilles all right, I'm glad I didn't tear that.
Guess what? It was Teddy Buchanan for the Ravens. It was Parsons for Green Bay. And there was a third one, right?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes, yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. Yep. You know what? I'm going to call it now. I think Washington actually makes it close and either scares or beats the Eagles this week.
Agreed, because Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback.
Jalen Hurts is not a good
Heard that
quarterback.
somewhere.
And I think it's just going to be funny because the Cowboys need them to kind of lose out. Give them just a little bit of hope before they, end the season.
Yep.
Speaking of the Cowboys, I almost picked the Chargers, but I think the Cowboys with their offense just pull it out.
Yeah, that's a toss-up for me because, Herbert has not been playing well, much to my chagrin, with his broken non-throwing hands, but that offense has done really well with the run game. So I'm expecting the Chargers to kind of lean on that going into this week and, potentially pull, which, it's not really an upset because they are the quote-unquote better team based on record, but I think it's going to be a really close game, especially if the Cowboys offense plays like it should on paper.
I, of course, am the only one to pick the Titans.
I was flip-flopping on this one. Without Patrick Mahomes, it's going to be something. I think, is Gardner Minshew starting?
Yes.
So, he did well until the interception on Sunday. So, we'll see. But, this was one, Tennessee hasn't been great
Go Quinn
this
Ewers.
year. Huh?
Go Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. Tennessee hasn't been great, so it is the second string for Kansas City that much better than Tennessee? So
because Tennessee's defense is actually decent, and I think Minshew struggles against it.
Because this is kind of like watching a former Tom Brady led New England team not make the playoffs. So I'm interested to see what the Chiefs, led by Andy Reid without Patrick Mahomes, look like, and see if they actually, play for wins, or if they're like, hey, our season's over, we've already been knocked out of the playoffs, let's just kind of tank for a better draft pick going into next season. Yeah, suck for luck. Luck sucking. But, or is it going to be one of those games where, because I see both sides of it, to where the organization wants to lose to get a better draft pick, but there are probably players on the roster that are in contract years and they're still like, hey, no, we're still hanging around here. And, we're not colorblind to the fact that, hey, we may not be playing anywhere come January, but, I still have a paycheck to make. So that's one thing I'm really going to be interested in seeing how a Travis Kelce, how a Chris Jones, how they perform in these games, because we haven't really seen them in this position in a long time.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look. I think the Giants pull out the victory here. I'm starting to look a little bit like Brady.
I'm watching, all the dissenters are either you or Brady.
It's like gambling. It's like you pull the handle once, and it's like, oh, just one more high risk. I don't need to pay the mortgage this month. That's fine.
I think that the quarterback in Minnesota is absolutely terrible, and the Giants' defense is really good, and they beat him in a low-scoring game. Go Jackson Dart.
Brian, I hate to say this for you, but Jackson Dart has had 7 concussions this season already. And I'm concerned that if he takes one more, he's going to be like that guy from, what's that movie? Not Another Teen Movie. The Cow.
Did you call me Brian?
No, my stepdad, Brian. He's a Giants fan. From Not Another Teen Movie, their center is a cowboy, and he has so many concussions that he just says he can start tasting colors and things like that. I'm afraid if Jackson Dart takes one more of those, he's going to start speaking in tongues and not in a good way. But honestly, I am not a big JJ McCarthy fan, but he has played relatively well up these last couple of weeks. And I think the main problem is him and Justin Jefferson are not on the same page, but he's on the same page with a lot of his other receivers. So I think that's going to be a really good game to watch. And honestly, could be McCarthy potentially playing for his job next year.
Could be. I doubt it. But I also picked Atlanta, partly because starting running back is out. for Arizona. And I'm pretty sure at some point they're going to actually bench Kyler Murray for good. And the backup is going to be shown to be not so good.
It's not going to be a Drew Bledsoe situation where 3 different times he gave way to a better quarterback.
Well, I mean, there's an interesting thing going around the internet right now. If you're Miami and if you're Arizona, do you trade Kyler for Tua straight up? I mean, what do you have to lose? They're both massive cap hits. Both quarterbacks have shown that they do not perform in the current system.
If I am either of those teams, I'm outright cutting them and just eating it and getting a quarterback in the draft.
Well, I think Tua comes with like $99 million in dead money if you cut him. So you got to get something for him.
Well, it's going to take a desperate team to want to take that.
Arizona might just be that desperate team.
Kyler Murray. Ugh. Little man and his little legs. Oh, that was weird. Didn't show anything the first time. And we were completely in unison on the last set of games. Everybody thinks that Baltimore is going to beat New England.
It's one of those games where one team has to have it more. And we kind of went over this earlier in the season where, like, every team, the Ravens are essentially backed into a corner at this point. In order to have a real shot at the playoffs, is they need to win out. Yeah. And if this is that game that they lose, then so be it. But I see this, we just need it a little bit more than New England does. And Baltimore at home in prime time, always a loud occasion there. So, yeah, that's honestly the only reason why I picked Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that one. That one's going to be interesting because New England's trying to do good for the first time since Tom Brady left. They got a shot, but Baltimore, we're supposed to be culminating from the years of Lamar, and this year has not been. What are we, 5 in a row we lost? Or we won 5 in a row? Mm-hmm. So this is just, it's trying to pick us up by our bootstraps at the end of the season. Like, we have a chance. Everything needs to just fit perfectly and push forward. Been trying to do a Kamehameha there, but that's what
I got it. Well, yeah, the Ravens were flexed. Originally, they were a 1 o'clock game. They were flexed to the night game because of the playoff implications. The Dolphins didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah, I mean, when you have, 2 teams that are out of the playoffs like that, you don't want to have one of your final big games of the week, especially when, people are off for the holidays and, sitting down and watching and you're getting a whole bunch of views. But I'm honestly surprised looking at this, seeing that everyone picked Detroit over Pittsburgh. And when Pittsburgh's been on kind of a run, as much as it makes me want to throw up to say, they looked good last week. But granted, it was Miami without TJ Watt. So if TJ Watt can play this week, that really gives Pittsburgh a good shot to disrupt that offense, because we've seen, for whatever reason this year, Detroit, if Jared Goff gets pressured, he's not that good. And Jahmyr Gibbs is having a tough time getting going this year. So those little perfect blue buildings in Detroit might get a little steal in them.
Pittsburgh hasn't been on a run. They won 2 in a row.
That's a little bit of a run in the NFL when you get this late.
That's the bare minimum for the word run.
Yes.
Because it's winning more than 1 game in a row.
That's a run.
It's a jog.
As Lou Brown said in Major League, you win 2, that's a good one. You win 3, that's called a winning streak.
Could happen this week.
Until they get there, I won't believe it.
All right, guys, thank you so much for doing it with us 3 knuckleheads. We appreciate it. We have fun. Hopefully you have fun too. Click like, click subscribe so you know when our videos drop. Since we don't know. Like I said, next week's going to be weird with the holiday. I think we're going Tuesday. Subscribe and you'll find out. And I'll post it on Facebook, which means join our Facebook group so you see posts of any shenanigans we call him. Not him, him.
Call them.
Don't call me. I don't answer unknown numbers.
Next week, we might release a short.
Don't hold your breath, Carol.
Or do it.
Yes,
Or
Tom,
make-
Tuesday, because Wednesday's Christmas Eve and Thursday is Christmas, and we won't be doing videos. Buy the book so Carol doesn't have to buy 70 more copies.
On sale for Christmas.
Check out Into Deep and other things that I can't remember. But I think that's it. So, yes. See you guys next week. Have a Merry Christmas. I'm Terry.
We'll be here before Christmas. I'm Mr. Jones.
And I'm Sam, and you have a great football week.
Hope Santa brings me a new mic.
Santa brings me the win.
I'm gonna get it.